Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavaha Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duktam Gita Mritam Mahate Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadrata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Vela Kula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartinim Sotirna Khalu Pandavairananati Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharyavachasarojamamalam Hitartagandotkatam Nanakyanaka-kesaram Harikata Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shakpatairaharaha Pepiyamanam Mudha Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sanga Padakramo Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Om. We have been fortunate enough to complete the study of 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita in the last roughly 2+ years. We started sometime in November 2020, or maybe it is October, around Vijayadashmi time 2020. 2 full years and a few months, and we have been able to complete the study of 6 chapters. The 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita are referred to as the Prathama Shatkam. Prathama Shatkam means the first 1/3 or the first 6 chapters, which constitute 1/3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is called a Smriti Grantha. Smriti Grantha means it does not have anything original. It is a remembered book. So Vyasacharya and the works of Shankaracharya, they recall the works from the Upanishad. And these are composed in a simple version. It is called a diluted version, not as technical as it is in the Upanishad. It's a diluted version. Diluted not in content. Diluted in its technicalities. But the content is just the same. So when I say diluted content, don't take it as something which leaves out important sections. The central theme of the Bhagavad Gita is Atma Vidya, knowing yourself. Why should I know myself? That I exist is never in doubt. It's never in doubt. But what is the nature of this existence is in doubt. So I come to certain conclusions. I'm alive when I come alive, first thing in the morning when I come alive. I am an awareful being. This awareful being is aware of his own body, aware of the surroundings, aware of the relations, and so many things around him. When one becomes aware of oneself through the body, certain factors strike you immediately. And that factor is, I could perhaps be better. So I'm using the word perhaps. I could perhaps be better. And if I am okay as it is, I need to do something to maintain this. Okay. I could perhaps be better, or I need to maintain this. This is called yoga kshema. Very often they say, yoga kshema, acquiring something I don't have, maintaining what I have. So I would like to either maintain it or better it. And the bettering process always comes up short. Like, for instance, I'm not happy with the color of my skin. I'm not happy with the gender. I'm not happy with the shape of my nose. I'm not happy with the age. I'm not happy with the abilities and disabilities. There are so many things which I am not happy with and I would like to change. I would like to change and become a better version. And this process of change starts here. Then it starts working on the relationships. I would perhaps like to have these relationships. I would not like to have these relationships. With one relationship, I'm stuck for too long. I would like to change that. I would like to bring something new into the system. Okay. I want all the people to whom I relate to accept me, to show their affection to me, give acknowledgement, give approval, validate me. I find nobody is willing to do that. And the other person also wants the same thing. There are two persons who want the same kind of validation. So there is also competition. Okay, then I have some objects that I want. I want certain situation. I want certain labels. So this pursuit is called samsara. The struggle to be better. The struggle to become a different person than what I am is called the samsara. A struggle. And Krishna gives a solution to that. He says, what you are looking for is not really going from position A to B or B to C. You are actually looking for something which will put an end to this wanting to be different. Careful, okay? I want to be different. I want to have some people. I don't want to have some people. The people I wanted yesterday, I don't want them today. The things I had, I don't want them today. I want to be different. I want to be different. I want to be different. Krishna comes and says, the actual problem is not going from position A to position B. The problem is whether you go from A to B, B to C, C to D, or any of these positions, you will continue to be this person who wants to be different. You go to Z, you may want to come back to A. So therefore, Krishna says, the solution is different. You have to look at yourself differently. You are looking at yourself through a limited body, mind, sense complex. Look at yourself differently. When you look at yourself differently, there is a certain discovery. And when you look at yourself differently, we have to use a certain methodology. It's called a prakriya, a teaching tradition. Have to use a certain tradition. Then you learn to look yourself, you discover differently using a particular tradition handled by a teacher, an acharya, a competent acharya. when you look at yourself differently, there is a certain discovery. And the process of discovery, and for you to have the process of discovery, the instrument of discovery should be prepared, well prepared. It should be prepared not only to receive, but also to retain and relate. All three should happen. Therefore, what is the discovery? The teacher starts the teaching in chapter 2 itself. He says, you are not what you think you are. You are a different being altogether. You are concluded that you are this body, mind, sense complex. If it were so, if you were the body, mind, sense complex, what comes and tells me next morning that I had a sound sleep? Because the body is not there. Body is gone to sleep. What tells me? Memory. If memory were working, you would remember everything that happened. You just know one thing, I slept well. Nothing else seems to reach. Somebody says there was an earthquake, there was a tsunami. There was a lot of chaos outside. Not aware. So the instrument of knowing is gone to sleep. So there is a factor, there is a being which comes and tells that I went to sleep properly. Then there is again this awareful being who comes and seems to tell you, when I was a child, when I joined this company at this place, I was 5 years old, I very vaguely remember this happening. Okay, that is one thing. Then another thing is, when I was young. So one is avastha, then various positions in life. There is an awareful being who is able to pick up all this. What is the nature of this awareful being? Is the inquiry. The nature of the awareful being is that of a knower, one who knows. And everything else is known. Subject, knower, object, known. Two divisions. The subject knower is also referred to by another name, Atma. And what is not Atma is Anatma. Atma, Anatma. Knower, known. Okay, so the Atma is as the awareful being. The awareful being is aware of so many things happening around. The object and the subject are different. The knower is different from the known. So you, the knower, cannot be the object of your knowledge. You cannot be the known. Hey, I'm able to appreciate that I'm not this object, I'm not that, all that I'm able to appreciate. They say, come closer and see that this body, mind, sense complex, which you have been claiming as your own, is also an object of your knowledge. This being an object of your knowledge is different from you. And just as the problems of the object are different from the subject, the problems of the body are different from you. So, age and gender, body, not me. Shape of the nose, bodies, not me. It gives you a valuable space inside to have a certain objectivity towards your own body. So the two terms are introduced. The body identification is called aham. The ahankara, this aham is atma, ahamkara, and the others are mama, mamakara, I and mine. Aham is first person singular capital I. Hamkara is small I. The struggle for the small I is always to become the capital I. And what the I plays around and claims as his own is mamakara. Now, go to Arjuna's problem. Arjuna says, I can't fight these people. He says, why? They are my relatives. See, you had no problem about fighting. You came armed to teeth to fight. You were itching for a fight. But the moment you realize that the opposite party had some people who you like or extra like, you have a problem. You didn't want to fight. The equation seems to have changed when somebody in the opposite side changes. So mamakara influences your performance and it clouds your thinking. So here Krishna comes and says, please understand, in the field there, in the field out there, you have to function. There is no choice. It's a battlefield. You have no choice. There are roles. You have to play those roles. There is no choice. There is no choice absolutely in playing. But you have a choice over what attitude do you bring to your action. And this attitude will work only when you know yourself properly. What is your nature? You are of the nature of aham. And it drives a very important point there. This aham is not mortal. That's the biggest worry. All of us are afraid of death. Afraid of death. Afraid of the quality of death. Will it be painful? Will it be painless? Our death and near and dear one's death. We are fearful. So this aham is not subject to death. It's immortal. The body has to die. The body has limitations. Aham does not have limitations. Example, you see my hand. But do you see the light? It is in the presence of the light that you see my hand. The light is an independent entity apart from my hand. It is not confined to my hand. Light is not a product, property, or part of this hand. Hand goes away, light is still there. But if there is a hand, you can appreciate light better. So Atma is not a part, product, or property of the body. It extends beyond the contours of the body. It outlives the body. This is the nature of your Atma. Not your Atma, you, the first person singular I has to be placed in you here. So this knowledge is explained, and in chapter 2, this is expert teacher. And then he says, what are the traits of this knowledge? What is the benefit of this knowledge? In this knowledge, dukkha is permanently removed. You can permanently knock off sorrow. Permanently. Imagine you are playing a role on stage. The role goes through a lot of pain. Does the actor feel the pain? He knock off. Role mein sab hai yaar. It will be there when I play the role. You knock off the problems of the role. So when self-knowledge is clear, Atma Darshanam is clear, Anatma, the sorrow coming out of Anatma is knocked out. Okay? And you discover a full, complete being. And then Krishna says, therefore, go and fight. Arjuna has a confusion. He says, you have been glorifying me and you're telling that self-knowledge, knowing yourself is more important. And now you tell me, go ahead and fight. Hey, what is this confusion? Krishna says, there is no confusion here at all. You function through the body. Okay. The body is in certain situation, has to play roles. The roles have scripts. Scripts demand action. By saying that I am the role player and not the role, you cannot avoid role responsibilities. So therefore, go play the role. But when you play the role, there are certain problems. The problems of the role, the expectations of the role seem to come down to you, the role player. So what you should do? I should learn the art of detaching the problems of the role from the role player in the knowledge, in the clear knowledge that I am only a role player and not the role. That is called preparatory sadhana. The preparatory sadhana for the purpose is karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Doing all your actions in a spirit of service. So action was divided in chapter 3. It's told that you play various types of actions. Kamya karma is desire prompted actions. You place vihita karma, which are enjoined actions. Okay. Among the vihita karma, you had nitya karma, daily actions. You had naimittika karma, occasional actions. Then you had nishiddha karma, prohibited actions. And you willy-nilly do nishiddha karma. You have prayashchitta karma, rectification entries. All the karma thing was explained. And it was told, when it comes to desire prompted actions, that is kamya karma, have a certain change of attitude. What is the change of attitude? Do the action in a spirit of committed service. When you do an action, results will come. The results are not in your hands. Have that appreciation. I can do something. Then I can speak into the mic, but hearing is, but then the voice being conveyed to you is not in my hands. See, many of us here, some of us here, who do some what do you call program? We sing online on our Zoom platform. What happens is, when doing the trials, it's perfect. Perfect, no failure. Do this, do this, do this. A fine trial completed, ready for singing. When you start singing, the problem starts. Do I call it my failure? Or is it the equipment's? I wouldn't even call it equipment's failure. It is the nature of the equipment. I can't call it my failure. In the same way, when you perform actions in the field out, the world outside, results will come according to some laws. Your action modified by those laws. So don't take it as a personal failure. If you have acted correctly, take it as a success. So this attitude was called Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Do it in a spirit of offering to a higher cause. And when the results come, they accept it as Ishvara Prasada Buddhi. Ishvara Prasada Buddhi is not judging myself on the basis of the action, objectively look at the results and do whatever correction is required. This frees me. Okay, this gives me a certain freedom here to be more objective, valuable inner space to be more objective. And in this objective mind, when the teacher explains that you are a whole being, it works. So this was the first 3 chapters. Now let's see the next 3 chapters. In chapter 4, it is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga, which is the chapter head. Krishna introduces certain subjects. Let's see what are the subjects here. We take an elaborate revision of the previous one, so that because this is not completing that I have to complete it within so many. It's and how well have you understood? Remember, receive, retain, reflect, more importantly, relate. Till you are able to relate to it properly, doubts will remain. So the chapter 4 is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Arjun has a doubt. Krishna says, I gave this knowledge to sun god. Arjun says, like, what are you saying? And you're just a few months older to me, and you say you taught it to sun. It is like I coming and saying, I saw the first match that India played, where what's that? Not two English cricketers, Jack Hobbs and Herbert Sutcliffe. He'll say, "Kya bakta hai? Dimag fir gaya." He's gone mad. So Krishna explains what is called Avatara Rahasya. He said, I am not this 6'1" Krishna that you're seeing. I am different. What you're saying is the form of Krishna. Krishna content is different. Just as you are not this BMS, I am also not this form. My content is different. And in content, you and I are one. In form, you and I are different. Gold ornaments are different in form. Content is gold. And he says, how do you? He says, it's called the Avatara Rahasya. How does Avatara come? What do you call it? What do you call it? Incarnation. How does it happen? He says, please understand, Arjuna, बड़े बड़ों की समझ में नहीं आती है. Even the biggest of guys have not understood this properly. It's impossible to understand. You can appreciate how it works. Okay, so Krishna introduces Avatar Rahasya, and he says that your birth is because of prarabdha karma, the sum total of your past actions. It is called Vyashti karma, individual karma, total karma. He says, Avatara Rahasya, the appearance of Ishvara is governed by what is called Samashti karma, meaning the karma of all the people. Vyashti karma is prarabdha controlled. Samashti karma, Avatara, individual coming is prarabdha control. The birth of an individual, it is called Janma. For Ishvara, it is called Avataram. It is not called Janma. Ram Janma Bhumi usage. Avatar, Ram Avatar. So Ram Avatara, Krishna Avatara happens because of a Vyashti karma. All our sum total karma put together is expressed as Ishvara. It is not like you get tangible kind of thing. You can't touch it and say this is Krishna. There's an appreciation. You have to have appreciation. And how it works is under the what do you call this? Under the power spell of Maya. Maya means not which is illusion. Maya means that which cannot be explained completely. So the Samashti karma makes the avatara come into being. What Samashti karma? The mischief of the wicked people, the uncontrolled mischief of the wicked, and the tapas, and the good actions of the rishis are responsible for the avatara. Yes, I've come as an avatara. Okay. And as an avatara, I am giving you this knowledge. What is this knowledge? Go back to our role play. Because Arjuna's doubt continues. He says, go back to the role play. As a role player, that's confusion. How can I do this action? You are telling me do this, but then how can I not do this action? How can I do this action? So Krishna explains the nature of action. He says, please understand, it's a little subtle. You are an actor. You are playing a role. In the role, you are supposed to kill someone. Does the role player go to jail? The role is sentenced. to life imprisonment, goes through a lot of trouble for the crime he did not commit. Does the role go to jail? So please understand, in action, there are a lot of actions happening. There are a lot of actions happening. If you are able to discern the difference of the performance of these actions from the role and the role player, if you can step back into the role and step back into the role player, it's called, get into the green room and see the roles. There is no action on behalf of the role player. He is akarta atma. He doesn't do anything. Therefore, this question, why does the Lord choose to punish me? भगवान से मैंने बहुत प्रार्थना किया, कुछ नहीं मिला. This is a problem when you think that Bhagavan is sitting somewhere there throwing coins at you. It doesn't work like that. He said Bhagavan is conscious principle in whose mere presence the world comes into being and functions. That's why Mahavishnu is shown in Shira Sagara Ananta Sayana. I don't have to go to work to make you people work. By my mere presence, I make you work. By mere presence, electricity spins all this equipment. So by mere presence. So understand the actionlessness in action. Arjun says, why should I fight this war? I will not fight. I will go somewhere and sit silence. He says there is no question of sitting in silence. Because if you sit in silence, there are a series of actions going on. What is the action? You are sitting in silence. What's your mind doing? You are sitting in silence. Is breathing happening? Is digestion happening? Is circulation happening? Are you deliberately opening and shutting your eyes, or is it happening? So he says, a wise man is able to see the actionlessness in action and action in actionlessness. It is a certain clarity here. Roles are expected to do certain things. And if I am going to get enmeshed into the role, the problem of the role has to come and touch me. I have an intelligent gap here, a valuable space here to separate the problems of the role from the role itself. It's a mental, it's a jnana, it's knowledge. Yeah, I don't do all this. So this is a play. Now, when it comes to real life, you lost a lot of money. What's your first reaction? What? You are into the role. Step back. Yeah, how can I get it back? Somebody gets a link. It happens. So many people. You get a link saying that your KYC has not been completed. Click on this link. You will be prompted for an OTP. Feed the OTP. And your KYC will be updated. Jing, 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 jing. Suddenly 3.5 lakh rupees debited into your account. What's your immediate reaction? Hey, what? Then what do you say? So what? Let me find out what is to be done. So the gap between what and so what is very little. Not just in this, in any response to any stimuli which is not pleasant. To pleasant, I have no problem. To the unpleasant stimuli, just as there is in-breath and out-breath. Every in-breath is followed by an out-breath. Every pleasurable situation will be followed by a painful situation. Every painful situation will be followed by a pleasurable situation. That's why I say this too shall pass. We find we know no problem about accepting happy situations. But when it comes to difficult situation, how many more days? Oh, astrologer, help me. Running all over the world. When will this period go? How long will this last? So that crucial gap is important. So it is called jnana karma sannyasa. It is not giving up action. It is giving up arrogation of action. I am the performer. I am the performer, a certain arrogation, a certain, no, saying that I am the doer. This is called jnana karma. You are giving sannyasa in the sense you are renunciate, you are giving up that sense of ownership to an action. This belongs to me. I should do it. It's my responsibility. This carried forward too much. Carried forward too much. There are people who, I have to get my daughter married, I have to get my son married. Fine, done. Then daughter has to have a child. Use it in your hands. You can pray. And all this creates a struggle inside. He says, please understand. You've got your children married. Have jnana karma sannyasa. They will have children if they want to. How many? They want. Not at all their decision. Have. This is called a wise, mature, grown-up person. Can you do that? He says it is possible to do that. So, okay. So, and he says there is a certain process to it. That process is introduced. Okay, there's a lot of relation given to the Vedic karma that one used to do those days. So every karma is seen as a yajna. Yajna means a fire offering. You offer it with a great amount of devotion, with discipline, you offer it. What do you offer? You offer what do you call it? You do dhyanam, you do tapas, everything you do in a spirit of offering. When you do something in a spirit of offering, you don't expect anything else in return. And the preparatory sadhana continues and says, what else do? You will do what is called ahara, vihara, and all other activities you will regulate. Ahara, controlled. Entertainment, controlled. Not suppressed. Very important. Okay, ahara, vihara, niyantrana. Nidra, control. Waking hours, control. So a lot of people say, my husband is a workaholic. You have to learn to control. Otherwise, the same effect of any coholic will come. Same. What will be the biggest problem of a workaholic? He won't be able to sit even 15 minutes without work. It's the biggest problem. I work 16 hours a day. And that day you have nothing to do, you will die of boredom. Everything under control, it prepares you. And it says, there is one yajna, however, that is called the Brahma Jnana Yajna. Pursuit of knowledge of yourself. Pursuit of knowledge of yourself is called the ultimate action. And how should you do it? It's a knowledge. It is not an experience. It's a knowledge. And knowledge is pursued by Shravana, listening, Manana, reflection, Nididhyasana, owning up. Shravana and Manana are done for a length of, first Shravana, length of time, regularly, consistently, under a competent Acharya who knows how to teach. Then Mananam, even longer, the reflection has to be even longer so that what you have learned is you don't have doubts in all these things. Okay. Having done all this, you are ready. The teacher says you are now, the glory of knowledge is given. What does it do? Permanently removes your dukkham. What is the qualification? Shraddha, Swadhyaya, Sadhana. These are discipline, all these are given to you. What is the disqualification? Ashraddha. Ashraddha is doubt. Then lack of commitment. These are your disqualifications. Okay, so these are. Let me finish them. Huh? Thank you. Thank you. Then the next chapter, in chapter 5, Krishna highlights 2 lifestyles. Okay, 2 lifestyles and a certain set of sadhana. So 2 lifestyles, which is very familiar for the Hindus. It is called sannyasi lifestyle, grihastha lifestyle. Which lifestyle is suitable for you? Only the teacher knows. He only highlights the features of this lifestyle. So in sannyasa lifestyle, in both sannyasa and grihastha, you have commitment to pursuit of knowledge, no choice. But what are the other things you will do to pursue knowledge? How is your preparation? In a sannyasi lifestyle, you will pursue knowledge to the exclusion of all other pursuits. A sannyasi does not earn a living. He subsists on the donation given to him by the society. That's called a sannyasi lifestyle. Sannyasi doesn't own anything. He is not supposed to own properties. So a sannyasi lifestyle, zero or very little importance to what is called pursuit of material pleasures and security, and commitment to pursuit of knowledge. That's called a sannyasi lifestyle. And what's a grahastha lifestyle? Pursuit of knowledge in and through all other pursuits. So you take care of the family, you take care of the living, you also take care of the sannyasis. So in and through all other activities, you pursue knowledge. That's the only lifestyle. Two lifestyles prescribed. What is the result? Then you gain the knowledge. If you are called a Mukta Purusha, the one who has got the knowledge, he has got moksha. Moksha is freedom from sorrow. Moksha is not jumping out of the body. Moksha is not going somewhere. Moksha is not dying. Moksha is freedom from sorrow. In fact, freedom from feeling sorrow. You eliminate sorrow. That is moksha. You understand the nature of things and you eliminate sorrow. That is moksha. A person who has got it is called a Jivan Muktaha. Even as he is living, he has got freedom. And there is another person who lives it, he has the knowledge or is pursuing the knowledge, and at some point of time, when the physical body falls, it is called Videha Mukta. Even if you are a jnani, you have got knowledge today, the problems of the body will continue. For instance, if this person is dark complexion, then knowledge will not make him fair complexion, because the knowledge is not for him becoming a better looking person. So the problem will continue. The first level of moksha is called Jivan Mukti. And when you are finally, the body is dropped, it is called Videha Mukti. And after that, the teaching says there is no rebirth. Okay, this is chapter 5. Then chapter 6, they introduce a subject called Dhyanam. Okay, what is Dhyanam? There are two types of sadhana. One is called Bahiranga sadhana, external sadhana. Another is internal sadhana. So for you to be able to do Dhyanam, you should have a certain preparation. You should follow certain discipline. At least you should know how to sit straight for an hour or so. You are fidgeting all the time. What Bahiranga sadhana is? So physical preparation is called Bahiranga sadhana. The inner preparation is called Antaranga sadhana. So there are explanations given on how you have to prepare. Okay, what is the preparation? Place, desha, kala, time, posture. So a quiet place, preferably early in the morning, free from noise, and you sit in this position. Sama, Shira, Griva, Kaya. Eyes are closed gently, hands linked together. Your eyes are closed as though you are looking at the nose tip. It doesn't mean there's some people who come and say, look at the nose tip. You don't have to look at the nose tip, otherwise you'll have a headache. The eyes are so closed as though you're looking at the nose tip. Look at Buddha's thing, the eyes are open in such a way as though he's looking. Eyes are closed. But when you look closely, you'll see that these eyeballs are as though concentrating. Then that is a physical posture. And when you sit on a certain level of asana, which is neither too low nor too high, so that you don't get balance problems. See, too low, crawling insects may get on you. Wet surface may affect you. And it also describes what kind of seat you should have. So it's make a seat out of deer skin. Don't go looking for deer skin seat now. It was some portion of it is given during a period of time, and all these facilities were not available. So how to sit? Okay, all these portions were explained to you in Antaranga Sadhana. And it said, what is the Dhyana Swarupam? How should you do dhyana? So one is, there are various types of dhyana given. In this chapter, Krishna has talked about yoga dhyanam. Yoga dhyanam he has taken, if you had studied Ashtanga yoga, they would have said, yeah, you would have put the 7 steps, yama, niyama, yama, niyama, then asanam, pranayama, pratyahara, pranayama, pratyas, nirvikalpa, savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. 7 steps are given. Okay. So yama niyama is bahiranga sadhana. Pranayama starts with antaranga sadhana. How to breathe. How to initially concentrate only on the breathing. Then from the breathing, you concentrate on a single thought. Okay. From the single thought, you move towards a silence. And as you do this consistently, regularly, systematically, it becomes spontaneous. When you do this one thought concentration, you will be flooded with thoughts. You practice pushing away thoughts and concentrate on one thought. This is a sadhana. Okay. This is how the dhyanam is supposed to be done. And when you do this, you come to a savikalpa samadhi, meaning you have to deliberately keep out thoughts which you don't want and entertain thoughts. It's a deliberate process. It's called savikalpa samadhi. Then you come to nirvikalpa samadhi, when negation of thoughts you don't want happens spontaneously and thoughts that you want are happening naturally, owned up naturally. It is not a thoughtless state. It is a deliberate thinking process that I want these thoughts, I don't want these thoughts. This is called the yoga type of sadhana. And then Krishna also highlights that there is another sadhana which is called nididhyasana, where posture is not important. What you do is important. And what you do? During Shravana Manana, your Swarupa was revealed to you. You recall the teachings of the Upanishad. You call the words of the teacher. You could or recall the teachings of the Mahavakya. You have heard it. You can listen to the talks 1,000 times if you like. You can reflect on it. But more importantly, you have to retain and start owning up. So far, what's your thinking? I am a struggling jiva. From that, you start owning, I am the Atma who is playing the role of the jiva. So deliberate thought process has to be entertained, and in due course, it will become done consistently. It becomes spontaneous. You have to be careful to avoid all kinds of distractions. What are the distractions? Chanchala asthira. The mind gets distracted. Noise, anything can happen. A small incident, some disappointment can give you this. A small disappointment. You know something? Not seeing a blue tick on your WhatsApp can give you distraction and disturbance. Hey, why didn't the person? Normally they reply within such a short time. My good morning reply, when I send at 6, it comes at 6:01. Today it's already 7:01. Nothing has come. Your dhyanam is gone. So you have to deliberately Work toward. For that 1 hour, keep the world away. Nothing. इधर के उधर कुछ नहीं होने वाला. So you have to do some. And what is the pratibandhaka? The pratibandhaka is these distractions. And what is the pariharam? Deliberately keep them away. Get into discipline. So if you find that your concentration is affected, do something to improve your concentration. If you find your attachment is different, doing something for you, do something for the attachment. If you are having some expectations which are not okay, work on them. Address them. Address. 3 steps. Objectify, address, repair. Till this happens, you will not be prepared. Objectify, address, repair. OAR, or objectify, address, repair. There will be problems. There will be emotional problems. Objectify, address, repair. Have self-confidence and self-control. So this is highlighted as Nidhyasana. Then Krishna Arjuna asks a final question. He says, what if it doesn't work? You have told me that for doing all this, I should take a slightly less interest in all this pursuit of houses and things like that. So I've stopped working that as a primary goal. I've made this my only goal, and that's an incidental goal. Now, what happens if I don't get moksha? What happens if I miss? Where will I go and end up? It's a question a lot of parents ask. Somebody says, I want to pursue art. What if nobody buys your painting? You won't have a job, you won't have art. Now, he says, Krishna assures you. He says, please understand, a person who does even a little bit of Vedanta Vichara gets enough punyam. Much more punyam than all the punyams you can imagine. And in his next birth, he will get a conducive janma. In that conducive janma, Atma Vichara will happen like this. You have heard of protege, what they call it? Prodigy. Yeah. Prodigy. Like a Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Ramakrishna. Shankara. So the preparation is so good in the previous janma that in this janma, it will fructify. Is for a person who pursues Atma Vichara, Atma Jnana pursuit, there is no Vinasha. So this is how the first 6 chapters are concluded in the Bhagavad Gita. It is called the Pratama Shakta. We are now ready to enter the Madhyama Shakta, the middle 6 sections, which we will start. Now, before we go to the next section, I want to make a small announcement. Normally, the month of May, I take a break. It is for my own sadhana. I have been speaking. I have been sharing things with you. Do I follow them myself? Or am I one of those fellows who just talks from here and does not believe? Some people are blessed with good speaking skills. So you can charm anybody of anything. So this 1 month we normally use for reflection. Have I really understood? Further, this more than understanding, have I assimilated? Having assimilated, do I live that life? Suppose I tell you, don't snap, and I snap at you. And then I've told you so many times, why you're snapping? I'm gone, 1 minute fallen. So this 1 month I use for reflection. Especially a grahastha requires to do a lot of reflection. The sannyasi has other kind of problems. The grahastha has all of us have problems. Only the flavor is different. Only the flavor is different. All of us have monks have problems. Sannyasis have problems. All of us have problems. Only the flavor is different, and how we face the problem is different. So normally this period is used for reflection, owning up, and check whether I have applied any of the things that I have learned. Have I applied? This is a reflecting time. So all of you should also reflect. These talks are all available as YouTube talks. Please listen regularly. Try to see which part can you relate and apply. Yes, I can. Dukkesha nudvigna mahanaha sukeshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodha sitadhir munirichyate. So one who is unshaken during difficult times, from whom the strong urges have gone. Pita raga bhaya, one from whom fear is gone, one who from whom anger is gone. Such a person is a muni. I do a reflection. Has it totally gone? Is it still there? What are my triggers? What triggers anger? What triggers urges? What triggers my fear? It is not that I'm insincere to study. It's simply that I need to insulate myself more. I need to have more vairagya. I need to pray. Every day, don't miss prayers. Prayer is, may I strengthen my vairagya. What is vairagyam? Distancing yourself from anatma. Viveka, going towards anatma. When anatma throws in challenges, check your vairagyam. If your vairagyam is weak, you will be sucked into the problem. If your vairagya is strong, the vairagya will suck the problem into itself and neutralize it. Problems won't disappear, but the power of the problems to disturb you goes or reduces its potency. Like wearing a mask. So for the next 1 month, I will be doing. I normally give the summer vacation in the first week. That is the first Friday of May. But because we are not completed, I'm pushing it today. So today is we will meet again on June 2nd, Friday, 2023, same forum, same time. Till such time, please study what we have so far studied. All the talks, please listen. If you have doubts, please call me. If you want to discuss something, please call me. I will be available one-to-one. I will definitely help you understand this. I will be contacting my own teacher for areas where I have not understood properly. So let's make it a joint study. Let's continue our sadhana. May Ishvara be with you. May Krishna be with you. Swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalinim desho yam shobharahitah brahmana santu nirbhaya sarve bhavantu sukhinah sarve santu niramaya sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya om purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavasishyate om shanti shanti Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om सदगुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हो सब संतों की जय हो स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो बजरंग बली की जय हो पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय हो May Krishna be with you. We'll meet on the 2nd of June. Our morning schedule of meditation continues. Anyone who wants can ping me. I'll give you that. It will not break at all. That will continue every morning for the next. Every day it continues. People who want to join are welcome. The evening schedule will resume on 2nd. Have a wonderful vacation. Oh.